Today's video is for Manny. This is a custom guitar that has already been spoken for, but we're going to take you through the specifications and talk to you about what you can order from Taylor, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag, or you can do what Manny does and just buy custom guitars from us. That is cool too. Also, check out our podcast, The Fretboard Confessional. Episodes have been few and far between. We're working to make that more consistent, so make sure you subscribe so that you know when the next one comes out. So this is a guitar that's been in the works for a bit. Put this together with our good friend Manny and talked to him about doing a video on it. He was overjoyed, and so in kind of an unfair turn of events, I get to play the guitar before he does, but at the same time, it's enshrined in YouTube forever. So there you go. It's a trade-off. It's a beautiful guitar. We're going to walk through the specs, and really the idea behind this video is to showcase this and talk about what you can do in the custom shop between really expensive guitars and more affordable guitars to really get what you want, and things that people maybe look over that can really set a guitar apart. So this guitar is going to be called the GC Brushfire. It is featuring a finish that Taylor uses called the Brushfire finish, which is just a beautiful guitar. When I turn it around and you see the back and sides, you'll definitely see kind of what the point of this finish is, the depth that you get, particularly in the figuring of wood. But Manny's a big fan of 12-fret Grand Concert guitars, and so the idea is, he said, hey Chris, I want to have this custom guitar. I saw this other guitar with Brushfire. I really liked it. Let's talk about some things. And we talked about wood pairings and also what would work to really feature this, and things that maybe you don't want to do necessarily. Let's talk about the specs first of all, and then I'll talk about some changes that occurred as we did this. So the top is Sitka spruce. It's got this beautiful Brushfire burst finish on it. It is trimmed in koa, figured koa, which is kind of a pale koa, but it's really, really pretty and very complimentary for the rest of the guitar. Abalone rosette, bound sound hole, which Cooper and I have talked about. We really like a lot. Of course, it's wood binding, another thing that we prefer. Now, the bridge and the fingerboard, you'll notice, are highly figured ebony. So this is one of those things that doesn't cost a lot, and you can specify when you custom order a guitar from Taylor to say that you want just a black ebony fingerboard and bridge, or something that's very figured to go with the guitar. And so you can see that light and dark and kind of the marbling, if you will, that the wood has. So very cool selection. And then a very simple inlay in order to show off that wood. Now, an early spec to this guitar was to have a very ornate inlay called the bouquet. I have it on my custom Taylor. It's a beautiful inlay that's kind of twisting. It looks kind of like a twisting underwater sea kelp or vine, and usually made of wood. But there's a decision made for two parts. One, inlays can be one of the most expensive things on the guitar. And two, if you're going to go with something that's very figured like this, you can showcase the wood by having a very simple inlay like this with the small offset dots, or no inlay at all. I'm actually a big fan of that. I think in my next guitar, if I do another custom with Taylor, I'll probably just opt for no inlay on the fretboard, make it more like a classical guitar. Now, for some people, you can't do that. I've heard from many, they look at the fretboard when they play. I don't. I look at the side markers. So the inlay pattern doesn't really matter to me. In fact, I forget what's on my guitars most of the time. So I really like this choice, and it saves money. Okay, so you get to have some really cool, unique aspects to your guitar at a good value proposition. Same thing up here on the headstock. So the Taylor logo is inlaid in abalone, and then the headstock is a gloss figured ebony with a glossed matching truss rod cover. Just absolutely beautiful. The back of the headstock also has a back strap of ebony, and we might as well move to the body of the guitar as we turn it around. The body is in figured quilted maple with this back strap in the middle, or not back strap, mini wedge, I think is what they call it. And again, it's in this Brushfire finish, and this is what's really unique about this finish, particularly with something like maple, is it just brings out the depth of the figuring and really accentuates it. Now, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's like a two-step finish. I may be wrong on that, but the sides of this guitar and the back with this border, this natural wood border, is just beautiful. An absolute beautiful piece. You've got the heel cap right there, which is awesome. And then he wanted to keep with that traditional slotted headstock. Some people don't like that. We actually have another video that'll be on the channel with some other Taylor Customs where you can get a 12 fret with a solid headstock. But a lot of people are big fans of the slotted headstock. So, if you like that, more power to you, and you should get it. And that's really it. Now, what were some of the things that we changed? Early on, there was a discussion of doing an armrest, either the radius or the beveled armrest, and you can see that there isn't an armrest. Now, the reason for that is twofold. One, there's a lot of expense that's associated with that. So when you're building a guitar, you're kind of deciding between what you want to have, what you need to have, what you have to have, and what you just kind of, can do without in order to get it in at the price that you want. Now, if money's no object, you can have it customized, to the nines, if you will. But most of the time, you're trying to strike a balance. So partly it was due to keeping the price in the right area. But there's another reason to do that as well that I talked to Manny about, and that is the size of the top. So I'll put it in context with my custom guitar. My custom guitar that I have from Taylor is a GS body. And it is a GS body because I had the beveled armrest put on it. And I was debating at the time between a Grand Auditorium shape or a Grand Symphony shape, and thinking about the fact that the armrest is taking some of the material away and making the top inherently smaller. I wanted to go with a GS instead of a GA, because the top at the end of the day will be closer to a GA size once you factor in that armrest. Same thing with the GA. If you get a GA with an armrest, particularly the beveled armrest, it's going to be removing a bit of material and making that lower bout just a little bit smaller, which is going to have an effect on sound and make it smaller than a GA and closer to a GC. So if you follow that logic, you can think if you have a GC and you do the same thing, it's making that top just a little bit smaller. Now, all in all, the guitar has to be judged on its merits as an entire instrument, and just that thing alone wouldn't be enough reason to say, no, I don't want that guitar. Like I, for instance, love the Builder's Edition 912 CE models, which are Grand Concerts that have that beveled armrest. And I don't think there's anything taken away from them. But that is a kind of a decision that you're making. And with something like this, it's interesting on what it can do from a tonal standpoint. Now, that was another discussion we had with this. It's one thing to look at this and go, wow, that's really, really beautiful. I want a guitar with maple back and sides and a spruce top like this. It's another thing to understand what that guitar might sound like. Now, the benefit of working with a dealer like us is that I have enough experience with so many different guitar body shapes and tone wood combinations that I've played over the years to give people a pretty good idea of what it's going to come out sounding like. And what I explained to Manny is that a lot of people get maple wrong. People think of maple as this bright tone wood, and really maple's a transparent tone wood. Maple is got like a flat EQ response with really nice sustain and an immediacy of attack that lets you sound like you. Now, what that means is that if you're going to go with a small guitar that's spruce and maple, you better be a brave person, because everything that you play with nuance and beauty is going to be showcased for everyone to hear. And every mistake that you make on the guitar is going to be showcased for everyone to hear. And so really great players will often choose these orchestral type wood pairings where you've got spruce and maple just like you would have on a cello or a beautiful violin, because you are going to sound reflective on your guitar as you as a player. And so I really like it for that reason, and I continue to beat the drum to say maple is underrated or misunderstood, and more people should really try and grab a hold of maple and see what it can do for their playing style. So that's the idea behind this beautiful piece. I can't wait to get it to him, but I'm going to play it first for you and for him so that you can hear what this sounds like with all of that sustain and nuance that the maple spruce combination provides, along with, I really got to say, the shortened scale length of the Grand Concert I really like, and the warmth that the 12 fret brings out pairing it with these two-tone woods. So check it out. So there you have it. Wonderful guitar that I'm sure will find a special place in Manny's collection, along with many more to come. He's a huge fan, and we appreciate his business. For anybody who's been considering buying a Taylor guitar, there's three primary things that I can tell you that I've long said on this channel regarding the value that you can get when buying a custom Taylor guitar, particularly from Taylor. And that is the very best custom value that Taylor typically offers is in a limited edition, which means it's not something that's labeled as a custom, but it's something that's unique and outside of their normal lineup that they will do. And what I've often said with limited editions is usually it's a different wood pairing, it's a different inlay, it's some combination like that, that if you were to order from the custom shop, costs way more than if you were to buy the limited edition. So because when you order custom, every single thing is a line item with a cost next to it. And so if you were to replicate a limited edition, it would cost more. So the entry level into something that's special and custom from Taylor that shows a lot of value is a limited edition. The next thing, which we've had in some videos and we've got more, so be on the lookout for it, is the catch customs or NAMM customs that Taylor does each year. And these are kind of like limited edition customs. And so what Taylor will do is they will build a number of custom guitars and they will spec those out accordingly, and you can bid on them at an event and you can win those as a dealer in order to sell, and you can also have some of those built in a limited number. Similar to how limited editions work, these have been, this recipe for the custom has been cooked up by Taylor. They've got it in, and usually the price point is above what a normal limited would be, but could be below what you might spec out for a custom. So, mileage may vary on that, but those are a good value. And then finally, you have the ability to build your own custom, and the value associated with that can be all over the place. What's important is on a guitar like this, we can help you navigate figuring out what makes the most sense for what you're wanting to accomplish with the guitar and what will give you the most bang for your buck according to that spec sheet. So, you might want a particular inlay and it has to be that inlay. And that's okay. That means you might not go with a certain exotic wood, but we can help you find a tone wood that will give you that same tonality without the exotic price tag next to it. So, and that's true for a lot of really good dealers that do a lot of custom tailor stuff. There aren't very many out there. So if that is in your potential future, you want to make sure that you hit us up, and you can do that at our website, which is alamomusic.com. You can also, by the way, mention or ask questions in our comments. Cooper and I both try to get in there and answer questions as we can. But if you go to our website, you can chat live with someone who's on there, one of the associates in the store. You can ask them questions. You can get a purchase started or even a custom order. And like Manny did with this, we'll send you photos of what the back and sides might look like, and you get to choose your set to build your custom dream guitar. If you are new to our channel, we talk about guitars, we geek out about guitars, and so we want you to come back and do the same with us. So make sure you subscribe, you hit that like button, and drop us a comment, like I said, and keep coming back for more. I always say at the end of the day, the best guitar in the world is the one that you're playing, and when it's really special and one of a kind just for you, all the better. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.